And
Oh,
I'll,
hang on. Okay, I'm now recording. Okay, so yes, we were talking about presidents.
yep. And how the Republic president connects to Trump. So Trump absolutely knows about the Republic, guaranteed. His folks communicate. Let's just say. Um, and so right now, the Republic is the Republic. It's sitting there waiting for the American people to say, we want it back. We're holding the seats. It's an interim thing. We are doing it temporarily until we can hold free and fair elections. That will only occur once the corporation is gone. How are we gone? Well, either it collapses under its own weight because of the bankruptcy and all the other crimes that are going on there, or it's removed by the military. And we're talking about good guys because now we have the whole spread spectrum of good guys, bad guys, good bad guys, bad good guys, whatever you can imagine in a spy novel, because that's kind of what's going on here in real life.
Yes,
So
I believe that Donald Trump wants to avoid a civil war.
we all,
Yeah, people fighting, because um, there's martial law and things have been taken over by the military, and he's trying to avoid that.
yeah. So the last 4 years, well, 3 years so far, but only got a few months left, has been an awakening of the American people, as many as we possibly can. And they're way awake right now. The ones that are awake are very awake. And then we've got the newbies who are just now starting to wake up after the Trump verdict from April, I believe, May. And even the lefties are doing the same. They're going, wait, they can try Trump for something that happened, they're kind of putting the two pieces together and going, well, that means that they can go after anybody then.
Yeah, well, he set a precedent about the documents, so they
Mm-hmm.
could go after Biden.
Right. Well, it's all going to be flipped right back around like a boomerang. That's for sure. There's no doubt about that.
Now, there,
So,
there are a lot of people that won't believe that. Yeah,
so when the corporation is gone and the republic is placed as the interim government, the civil authority necessary for the military to take action because they refuse to act outside of their oaths to the Constitution honorably for a nice change. And that means that the number one priority of the republic will be free and fair elections within 120 days, no machines. That's when Trump probably would be now elected as the president of the republic. We've got all of these, call them vibes, from these insiders, because they can't tell us anything, but they can only give us breadcrumbs, like I said. And we're trying to piece it together as to what exactly is happening. Now, I'm not as high in authority as like President Geiger or the Attorney General or anything like that in our republic, but they do get communications. They can't talk about it. We
hang on,
get.
are you not governor in the
I
Republic?
am. I am the interim governor of Texas. That's true.
And
Uh,
isn't Texas the state that Trump lives in at the moment?
no, he's in Florida.
In Florida. What
Yeah,
is he?
Mar-a-Lago, Florida.
Right. Okay.
Mhm. And so that's when we would think, if all of this happens before election day in November of this year, and we're all expecting it to happen literally any day. And that's because of these breadcrumbs that we're getting, these little pieces of information that about all these things that are happening. And
You,
it feels like everyone just feels it, like in their bones, like it's
you,
something's about to happen.
you think it might actually happen quite soon? The
We think
transfer to the Republic?
we think so. Yeah, we're in
Because
fact.
because there are rumors, yes, because I'm also um, in other groups, and another group says that it could all change before November.
Overnight.
So
It
so
would.
so September probably a
Well,
possibility.
we've done the math on if you do, I think it's November 6th. I have to double check. That's our first Tuesday of November. Whatever that date is, you count backwards 120 days, we're already within that window right now.
Right.
If the Republic was put in place now,
Yes.
and they said, we're aiming for the same date for the election, well, then we would do our best, to do that. But the second idea is that Trump does get elected into the corporation again. And then does something. We're not sure what, would he crash the corporation at that point and say, okay, Republic, you're on? And then now we have to hold another election, and then he can get elected as the Republic president. So there's a couple of options, ideas here. Of course, everyone is praying multiple times per day that it's the first thing that any second now, any day now, we're going to get the call. Okay, you're up. And you are now in charge of the National Guard in your state. Oh, thanks.
Well,
So right now, we call the folks that are filling the empty seats, we jokingly call seat warmers. But of course, we're looking for as many very experienced folks, either project management, or they own their own businesses, or they're used to working in large groups, and they can get people to work together. Because we're going to have to organize all of our counties. Texas is this little bitty state. I don't know if you ever looked at a map.
well,
254 counties.
well, Bush was from Texas. I mean, that's what I was thinking, I think.
Yeah, we're not proud of that. No. Anyway, so those are the possibilities. We hope that they give us a little bit of warning. And we anticipate that we'll probably be whisked away somewhere safe, maybe the nearest military installation for a week, until the martial law is, fully engaged. Everyone is in a routine, about how things are supposed to work. They're rounding up the folks that need to be rounded up. And then maybe we'll go back home and then work from home. I don't know. Or if we'll be moved to the state capitals, where they are right now. I don't know. I hope not. I think most of the state capitals are blue cities and, not friendlies generally. But I think if the corporation fell and people had their education aligned, with the truth, that they would be a lot more friendly with the idea. We'll have to see what happens. But I truly feel God has led me to this. And so if he's leading me into an untruth, well, it must be part of the plan. I'm just going to do what I'm told, kind of. It's like, this is what I feel like God is asking me to do, is to tell as many people as possible about the American Republic, especially the folks in Europe, because we've already been in contact. We, the Republic, have already been in contact with countries in Europe, people just like us in the European countries that are aware of us, that they have copies of our documents, and they're adapting them to their countries and their language. So when this happens in America, this is probably going to happen worldwide.
Yeah, I was going to say it's going to be a domino effect.
Yeah. And so there's so many possibilities here. We can talk about Nessara Jessara. You've probably heard about these concepts,
Yeah.
which is the whole financial reset. This whole change to a fair and hopefully unhackable system, so that QFS has already been implemented in, I don't know, something like 150 countries.
Quantum
And
financial system, for those who don't know.
yeah, let me take that back. Not implemented, but is running behind the scenes, kind of like a beta test.
Yeah.
And so it is just now, I think they're starting to use it just to see if everything is, to transfer the money and whatever. It's going to take everything out. The bankers, the banksters, the SWIFT system, all of that gone.
Yeah.
And
So those dominoes falling are in effect, it's the corporations falling and it's the deep state falling.
yes.
But the good people that are working for those corporations, how will it be for them? I mean, they will carry on as normal.
No, if they're part of the cabal of the corporations, we'll just have to see which crimes they're guilty of, because none of that will be tolerated.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the higher ups. I'm not talking about the.
I'm not either. I mean, we know the higher ups are guilty of stuff, right? It's how far down did the crimes trickle, so
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
because they're not going to just do it themselves. The bad guys are going to say, okay, my number 2 level or 3 level supervisors, all right, I'm going to get them to go do it.
yeah.
And you can't say I was following orders, because that didn't work in Nazi Germany either.
Yes, that's another issue.
Yeah.
Wow, the Nuremberg trials and everything.
Yep. Yep.
Um, Now they say that we didn't win the Second World War. What's your take on that? We didn't actually win the Second World War. Germany won the war, and they put their people in place so that we could rebuild the world to be a prison for us.
It's even more evil than that. We did win World War II, but because all of the countries involved were so evil, they took these evil people and incorporated them into their own evil. They moved a lot of them into Ukraine. Oh, maybe we shouldn't say that word. There's
Yeah,
another one that's a trigger word.
yeah, you shouldn't say that.
Anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of N people in the U country. And that's a fact. We see their patches and they're marching around with their flags all the time. Uh, so when the president of the Russian type country went in there, what was he actually fighting? Well, I don't know if you knew this, but the very first day of that particular conflict,
It was a cleanup operation, as far as I'm concerned.
there were so many buildings that were bombed that happened to be bio
Yeah,
type research
biolabs. Yeah,
they were doing on the actual people of that region. Like 25 of them were
yeah,
wiped out in that first day. Oh, you
yeah. And,
think
and,
maybe it
and
was being
a lot of people in England will not accept that. I was in the
okay?
library. I was in the library,
Hmm?
and I was talking about Putin being, a good guy and everything.
Oh, we can say name, okay.
And they said, "Well, don't talk to us." I
Yeah.
said, "Finish. Don't talk to us."
Yeah.
So um,
So
okay,
that's what we think is possible sequences of events.
yeah, that's. I mean, Putin being a good guy, if he's in there to clean out not only the labs but the child trafficking. Yes,
Everything trafficking from that
yes,
country. Everything trafficking.
yeah, corruption. if he's there to do that, then he can't be that bad.
Mhm. And then what was the whole soccer ball thing about?
Yeah, pass the ball. Here you go. Ball's in your court.
The ball in your court.
Yeah, Mr. Donald.
Yep, the
Yeah.
Don.
Yes. And when he took that briefing that in the Oval Office, I believe it was, and he had 9 generals on one side and 11 generals or colonels on the other side. That was optics as well. That 9/11, we're coming for you.
Mm-mm.
Yes,
Yeah, could be. Absolutely.
that's what I've heard. Yes, because
Yeah.
that's really uh, a a big scandal,
Yeah.
massive.
So our mission now is to get the word out to as many people as possible. Americans primarily, but around the world, everyone needs to know what's going on because we will eventually be offering assistance to anyone that asks for it once the republic is firmly back in place. So I anticipate there'll be a lot of folks traveling to the various countries and being advisors. You know, this is how to try to do it. Of course, there's going to be so many arguments about the so many different people with the so many different ideas. And you just have to realize that if you can just get it started and then you can, adjust it as it's needed. That's what amendments are for, as things may change. So, but that's the plan, I think, for the whole world.
What one thing I've heard is, and this is really the whole of NATO and England, they all want to save Ukraine, um, and one of the reasons they want to save Ukraine is because it's worth trillions and trillions of dollars. Yes, it's collateral. It's like,
Agriculture, minerals,
yeah, everything. They've got so much stuff over there.
or
It's a bit like a mini Russia, because Russia's full of um,
yeah.
things as well. Yeah.
Well, I was reading a study report that there's 50,000 missing children from the country since the war started. Where'd they go?
Yeah, I think that's probably the small figure rather than
Yeah. Well, even that number just
yeah,
takes your breath.
yeah. That's quite mind blowing. All of this stuff, and there's some people that just won't accept it until they see it. Yes,
Mm.
and I project that, oh, maybe we won't see this happen for another 10 years. You're saying 120 days, which sounds wonderful. I'm
Yeah.
saying, oh, perhaps the situation will be that President Trump will become president and he will stay in office for 8 years, and then the transfer will happen.
Well, he's only legal or lawful to be president for 4 more years because he's already had 4.
So it can't restart.
Mhm. So
Ah,
unless we allow an exception,
what,
I would
hasn't it
assume,
been done before with one of your presidents, was it Roosevelt or something?
yes. And it was soon after that they passed I don't know if it was an amendment, but it was a limitation for 2 terms on the president. On the president only, by the way, not the Senate, not the Congress, not all these other, unelected agencies that are the ones that created the chaos of what we just went through from 2020 onward.
It sounds like a control mechanism. Yes. You know, if they got someone good in the office, they want to get rid of him. Yes. or be able to get rid of him,
Yeah.
rather than letting him sort of hang on for 12 years or 16 years. I don't think Trump will be interested in doing 16 years as president, or even 12.
He'd be almost 90, I think.
Yeah, I think he'd be happy to do another 4 years, um, and maybe we'll have to see how the land goes. You're saying 120 days. I'm saying it could be 10 years. We'll just have to wait and see.
Now remember, the 120 days is once the corporation is gone, then the republic has that restriction. So we're within the 120-day window right now from the November election in America. So if they let's say it's almost always almost for sure gonna happen on a Friday night or something like that, or Saturday morning, where they're gonna sweep it out and then start the republic. Because then there's the weekend when things are a little more calm. They can have everyone off the roads and all of that, and only have the utility workers and your 911 folks, and that, or those are the only ones that are allowed out, and everyone else stays home. It's like almost like a practice for the lockdowns. So we locked down for a little while till the military, National Guard primarily. So I don't know if your folks have an understanding of the difference between our active duty military, which is where I served, the folks that are going, all over the world and have all the missions everywhere. And then the National Guard are primarily the ones in the states. So there's the Texas National Guard, Alabama National Guard, et cetera. And the governors are generally in charge of those military. We think that's going to be the primary military that's going to be taking care of the law and order for a while.
According to Derek Johnson, the National Guard are already active.
That's true, since October of 2020.
Yeah, they're all getting paid, and it's kind of hush money because they can't say anything about it.
Well, it's there's an old saying, you may even have it in your country: loose lips sink ships.
Definitely, yeah.
So you've got to not share that information at all. And but like I said, we think it's the National Guard that'll be primarily in charge. Active duty will probably have to come up in some of the states because there may not be enough National Guard. But yeah, we're not quite sure how that part. I mean, that's all the stuff. The insiders know this, right? We don't. We're guessing from the outside. So
Yeah, well, plans can change at the drop of a hat, really. So what they say today might not be true tomorrow. And
very
the way I've looked at it over the past 4 years, which I mean, since my 2020 vision of the situation, wow, I mean that's mind blowing. What's happening around the world now?
right.
The only way I could really come to it, because it's so conflicting. These people are saying this, others are saying that, and there's so many contradictions. And in the end, I've just got to say, well, hang on, it's in the hands of God, yes.
Right.
And if I'm here right now because of God, and everything is going His way, then whatever happens, it's in His hands.
Right. Well, that's what's been happening. We've got folks that have been in the Republic since 2005, 6, 7, somewhere in that time frame. Where are we now? 2024?
Yeah.
17 years, 18 years. And they've been waiting for this. I've only been involved since October of 21. It's only going on 3 years for me, and I'm already out of patience. I can't even imagine what it's like to be one of them, to have seen the whole thing, right? This meteoric rise of the Republic, and then all these people coming in and then getting crashed down into almost nothing, and almost only having a remnant remaining after the arrests and attacks and everything by Obama's agencies. And then for the longest time, we're just kind of like just doing this, and we're sending out the messages and the podcasts and the whatever, and nothing's getting through. The shadow banning galore. And now, after the Trump trial, all of a sudden it's getting out. And now people are sharing it, and it's really getting out. And we're going, something's different. Why? And so that's where you go, this is God. This is God's plan. It's starting to happen. We got to hurry and fill these seats. We feel this sense of urgency right now, like we better hurry. So that's why we're doing as much as we can on the podcasts to let the people know this is what we think is coming. And if you want to be a part of it, go to our website, republicfortheunitedstatesofamerica.org, and sign up.
I shall put the link. Under
Absolutely.
under the under this video in the description box for anybody who wants to connect with the Republic, and how to save America, and through that the world. Yes.
Great.
Yeah. So,
send those to
you. Yeah. So, is there anything else you'd like to say, really?
No, just stay focused. Don't give up. God has a plan, and all of us are part of it. So when he asks you to do something, pay attention. That's what we're all required to do at this point if we're going to make this happen, make this work. So.
Yeah. So you can see what happened to Trump and his lucky escape. You can see that as two things: the luck of the devil, or by the grace of God, he was saved.
Mm.
Yes.
Of course, the leftists are saying, how dare he get in the way of the bullets? Or whatever, they always like to say something bad about him, that's his fault.
I've seen some videos where they say bad things as well. Yes. I mean, it's God's plan. The people that are against this, I think all of that is part of God's plan too. And you can't have one without the other. Yes.
I think most people recognize that we have to be in the book of Revelation right now. There's just too many things happening so bad right now. All the evil, the Satanism, the crimes that are being committed. It looks like Sodom and Gomorrah all over the place. Can it get much worse? I pray no, but we've reached pretty low right now.
Well, as low as necessary in God's plan.
That's right.
Yes. And just when you think it's not low enough, perhaps a little lower is necessary.
That's true.
So we'll see how it goes. We'll meditate on the future, and you'll pray, I should imagine. I like to meditate, and yeah, it's
Day at a time.
Yeah. So I think we'll leave it there. That seems to be a good place to finish. So thank you very much for connecting this evening, and I'll send you the links so you can see the videos, and you can pass them around if you want to.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. So, perhaps there's right. We're going to run out of time, but perhaps there's a book you'd like to show.
So we have the Re-inhabited Republic is what we call it. And you can go to reinhabitedrepublic.com and you can look for all the books. We've got a volume 1 and a volume 2 that tells the history of everything pretty much I just told you. How did we get to this point? The true American history, and then volume 2 is the actual reinhabitation history. These brave patriots that did all these things I just said. So if that's for a deep dive, you can also go to our website and just read some of the stories and listen to some of the videos. Thank you for asking.
I just remembered.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll leave it there. Bye for now, and maybe we'll talk again sometime in the future. Who knows?
All righty. Thank you for having me.
It's been wonderful having this update and confirmation. Yes, confirmation of everything I've been learning over the past 4 years, 4 or 5 years. Okay, bye for now.
Bye.